Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs Channel. Happy Saturday morning to you all. It's been a little while. Hope you've all been okay. I know I've been MIA, and it's not because Spurs are crap, it's because I'm busy. But we're going to be talking about Spurs. We're going to be talking about the game versus Aston Villa. It's a weird one, really. Actually, this Villa game. There's a few different factors that sort of go into end of season games. You know, who's playing for what. You know, do you have cup competitions to care about? Do you need relegation, top four or top five most of the time due to the extra spot? Title challenges, Europa League, Conference League. You know what I mean? Like European spots, and Villa are in a really really interesting situation. So we're talking about that. Obviously, going to be talking about a little bit about Spurs and sort of going forward into these last four games and just sort of seeing where we're at really with it all. Obviously, Spurs still injury riddled. That's nothing new for us all to understand. I don't think that's shocking to anyone to know that Spurs have injuries. But excuses are something that you can maybe use at the end of the season. Let's not care about it right this second. Let's worry about what we can worry about, and that's the game of football. But yeah, speaking about Villa a little bit, obviously having had so far a really good season, sitting in fifth, they are level with Liverpool in fourth. They're 8 points clear of Brighton, who are in sixth, and also that is quite key because obviously the top five this year will be getting Champions League football, sixth will be getting Europa League, which leads me into my next point. Villa being in the semi-final of the Europa League, having played Thursday night away at Forest. Obviously, my app stopped working, which is good. Good. Google absolutely doing a job here. But Villa, obviously, at the moment, in a predicament when it comes to the Europa League, because sitting right now in this game, sorry, Google's being shite today. I'm just going to be real with you. But yeah, sitting in right now, the first leg, 1-0 down from Thursday night. Sort of watched that game a little bit, We got spoiled Tuesday night, didn't we? We absolutely got spoiled with PSG Bayern, and then I had to watch terrorist football Wednesday night, and then I had to watch Forest versus Villa, which, gonna be real, it was quite boring, if I'm honest. I think both teams were sort of trying not to lose the tie in the first leg. I think Villa go to, obviously Villa Park being the second leg next Thursday. I think they probably win. They go to the final. Couldn't tell you who they're playing in the final. I've had no real interest in the Europa League or Conference League this year. I know that who English teams wise are in it, but I don't know. But that being said, Villa being 8 points clear of Brighton. Yes, okay, cool. It's not guaranteed. It's not mathematically guaranteed they're getting top five. But you'd sit there and say 4 games left, 8 points clear. If you didn't get top five, it would be an absolute travesty. I'm going to look at it. Some of their fixtures. In reality, they probably need one win. If I'm honest, one win, and they play away at Burnley. So even if they, let's say hypothetically, they lose to Spurs. They lose to Liverpool at home and they lose to Man City away last game of the season. Even if they beat Burnley, they're 11 points clear of Brighton in theory. Brighton would have to win out. I don't know what Brighton's games are, but I doubt Brighton will win 4 in a row. I think they've got away at Newcastle today. I think that's the only one that I actually know about. So I think Villa are going to come into this game and they're going to rest some players. I'm actually just going to go and have a look at the team that started versus Fulham last weekend, which they lost. And that's the other thing. Villa are coming into this game off the back of back-to-back 1-0 losses. No goals in 2 games. No clean sheets. But let's have a look at the team that played against Fulham. So we've got Martinez in goal, Digne, Torres, Konsa, Cash, Tielemans, Bogard, Buendia, Rogers, McGinn and Watkins. That's near enough the strongest team. Yeah, there's a couple of tweaks maybe you'd make, but that's near enough the strongest team with injuries, being included and things like that. I mean, just going to have a look at the team that went out and played against Forest in the week. Again, I think they had a strong team against Forest. Martes in goal, Digne, Torres, Consa, Cash, Onana is back, Tielemans, Buendia, Rogers, McGinn, and Watkins. So in reality, that's kind of their strongest team at the moment. So yeah, not great form coming into this game. Obviously, they've got options that come off the bench, and your Sanchos and your Luizes and things like Tammy Abraham. I think Villa are going to rest some players today. Not today, sorry, against Spurs. I think they are going to rest some players. I think they're looking at it and go, it's 8 points clear. We'll beat Burnley because Burnley are shite. We'll beat Burnley. That's 11 points that Brighton are going to need over the last 4 games. So let's say today Brighton drew and Villa have done their job against Burnley, it's game, set and match. It's pretty much wrapped up. Obviously, Villa have got Europa League aspirations. You can still get Champions League football for the Europa League. If everything went really awfully wrong, you lose all your last 4 games. Brighton win all their 4. You still got the Europa League. So I think Villa are looking at it going, look, we've got top 5 wrapped up. Doesn't matter if it's 4th or 5th, depending on, obviously, they play Liverpool. So they'll put a team out for Liverpool to hopefully get up those points. And obviously, that's a 6-pointer. I think they'll rest players. And I think Spurs, if you're going to beat Villa, this will probably be the time. Yes, injuries, I get it. But, there's talk that Adoggy's going to be back. And, look, you're starting your back 4, if Adoggy's going to be fit, I assume is going to be Kinski, Adoggy, Mickey, Big Kev, and Porro. Your midfield 3, you'd probably say it's going to be Paulinho. I don't know why I think Paulinho, but I do. Basuma, would Basuma play? Not too sure. I think Bergvall might play. Just thinking, because obviously Simmons now gone. Kulusevski's now out. Kudus is out. Solanke, well, we don't know what's going on with his hamstring. You expect Richie's probably going to start up front. Please play Tell. Just please play Tell. Like, I'm watching the last sort of 2 months has made me realise he's the one guy that wants to get on the ball and run at players. And okay, yes, he's not going to beat his man every single time. That's kind of what happens with a winger. They're not always going to beat their fullback. But he's trying stuff. He's being on the front foot, getting on the ball, wanting the ball. And for some reason, I just don't get it. Frank wasn't a fan. Tudor wasn't a fan. I don't know if De Zerbi's a fan. But the guy's trying, and he's doing more in the attack with trying. And yes, like I said, sometimes it's not always amazing. He is also very, very young, but he is trying, and he looks like he could do something. Yeah, every single manager's not keen. Something just doesn't add up there, personally. But yeah, you'd expect Richie to start up front with probably Kolomoani, no doubt. Sitting behind them, though, is the query, because, Simmons was massive for that reason, sitting in behind. Is it going to be Bergvall? I mean, I don't know who else it could be, unless you're going to play Tell there. But I don't know who else it would be. I'm really struggling because obviously, Maddison is still not fit. It's quite weird. He's been put on the bench as a bit of a cheerleader, not because he's crap or old or anything like that. It's just because he is a very vocal part of the leadership team. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be Bergvall. I just don't think I don't think he likes Tell. I don't know why. I like Tell. I think there's a player there. But anyway, looking at this game, obviously it's a 7 o'clock kickoff UK time tomorrow evening on Sunday. Because it's obviously, if you weren't aware, it's because a lot of times they do these sort of things because it's a bank holiday that follows. And yes, it is a bank holiday on Monday. I don't know if I would sit here and say this is a must win. Just purely on the fact that, there are games still to come after this. Leeds at home, Everton at home, Chelsea away are the 3 that we've got to follow. But Villa have played a lot of football recently. A lot of football. They played Thursday. They played the Sunday. This will be their 3rd fixture in a week. Hence why I think they're going to rest, because of Thursday night coming is the 2nd leg. I think they're going to rest players. I think Tammy Abraham will start up front. You might see Ross Barkley. Maybe Buendia, I don't know. But you'll see Sancho. Just thinking Bogard probably. You'll see Mings and Matson. Who's their backup right back? It's Matty Cash. I can't remember who the backup right. I think it's Bogard sometimes. But they've played a lot of football in the last week, and between that Sunday last weekend and Thursday coming, it'll be 4 games, and that's a lot of football to play, and it's a lot of football to demand of the same sort of 13, 14 players. So I think they're going to rest some players. I'm not going to say they're going to make 11 changes, but I think 4 to 6 changes, somewhere in there. And look, you never know in football. We're scrapping. I think they've got their minds a little bit in Europe. We're scrapping. I think this will be a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I mean, a win at Villa Park, who, Villa have had a really good season. They've been a good team this year. A win at Villa Park would be huge, because then you're looking at Leeds at home and Everton at home going, Spurs have picked up a lot of points over the years versus Everton. Spurs obviously won at Ellen Road earlier this season. Chelsea away, I always chalk up Chelsea away as a loss. I don't know why. The moment in it and the game seemed to get to us a little bit, and Chelsea get up for that game because it's their cup. It's not their cup final, but they treat it a bit like, because they hate Spurs and we hate them. But yeah, I think a 1-1 draw is what I'm going to go. You let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts and what have you. Good to see you all, and I'll speak to you all soon. Peace.